My dear student, we are going to discuss about the causes and the consequences of atrocities against women and children. Man is a social animal and lives in a society governed by rule of law and morality. Law is the norm which regulates the conduct of man and which maintains order in the society. Women and children constitute important part of every human society. However, women and children have been the victims of human rights violations for centuries, as there were only a few laws which protected them. The establishment of the United Nations has brought a drastic change in the life of women and children, in the sense that new international human rights laws, norms, and standards have been developed and implemented in the world for the promotion and protection of women and children against all kinds of atrocities. The government of India has also followed the same suit in line with the United Nations by enacting special laws for prohibiting atrocities against women and children. Women and children living in the entire northeast region have been affected by multiple types of armed conflict, which add more salt to the wound of the women and children of the region. Crime is an act prohibited by law. The report of National Crime Records Bureau shows that crimes against women and children have increased in the country. It is revealed that a total of 309,546 cases of crimes against women were reported from all the states and union territories of the country during the year 2013. The number of crimes recorded saw an increase of 26.7% crimes in comparison with the previous year. The cases of torture or cruelty by husband or his relatives committed on women have also increased during the year 2013. The highest crime rate of cruelty by husband and his relatives was reported from Assam. It is generally accepted that the offenses committed against children and the crimes in which children are the victims are considered as crimes against children. The National Crimes Record Bureau saw an increase of 52.5% crimes against children in comparison with the previous year. The maximum number of child rape cases were reported from Mizoram and Andaman and Nicobar Island. Atrocities against women and children are on rise in Manipur, and the situation in the state seems to be alarming, which requires special attention of the government, community, and the society at large. The United NGO Mission Manipur claimed that there were reports of 287 cases of violence against women, including cases of rape and murder, from 1st January 2014 to 10th November 2014. It is reported that there were 191 cases of crimes against children in the last 2 years. The compiled report of the Manipur Alliance for Child Rights revealed that out of the 191 victims, 104 were girls and that the remaining 87 were boys. Poverty is a complex and multidimensional problem which affects life of women and children in many respects. It has also various manifestations that include lack of income and productive resources sufficient to ensure a sustainable livelihood, hunger and malnutrition, ill health, limited or lack of access to education and other basic services, homelessness and inadequate housing, and social discrimination and exclusion. Poverty can also force women into situations in which they are vulnerable to trafficking and sexual exploitation. Poverty affects the lives of children, which compel child to abandon education and to become child labor. The biggest contributory factor for child labor is poverty. Eradication of poverty and empowerment of women was the key agenda of the Beijing Declaration and Platform of Action 1995. The Government of India has also adopted legislative as well as policy measures for eradication of poverty. The Parliament has enacted the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act 2005, and the same has been implemented throughout the country with the objective to provide 100 days work in a year to the rural poor family to uplift their way of life. Despite adopting such measures, poverty has been increased in most of the northeastern states of India. The poverty estimates of the Planning Commission show that northeastern states of Assam, Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram and Nagaland have increased poverty between the year 2004-05 and 2009-2010. Illicit drug trafficking, drug abuse, and alcoholism are also some important causes for atrocities against women and children. The proximity or nexus between drugs and crimes is self-evident truth. Illicit drug trafficking as international crime has been a major concern of the United Nations as it is a threat to peace, security, and development. All states of Northeast India share considerable portion of its international border with countries like Myanmar, Bangladesh, and China. Manipur also shares a long international border with Myanmar and is one of the important routes to the Golden Triangle, a major illegal drug manufacturing part of the world. Because of proximity with the Golden Triangle, the region has been a major corridor or gateway of illicit drug trafficking. There was a typical case of arresting an army officer with huge consignment of illegal drugs from Manipur when he along with his team had attempted to send it to Myanmar. In such a situation, illegal drugs are easily made available, and the youth of the region are born to become drug users from childhood. The addicted persons not only commit crimes against women and children, but also helps in spreading pandemic diseases like HIV/AIDS to women and children. The number of HIV infected and affected women and children have increased in the last few years. On the other hand, alcohol is a known intimate partner of violence, and women and children are often directly affected by it. It is found that drug abuse and other intoxicating substances are closely connected with many criminal activities, including heinous crimes like rape and the murder of women and children. Change itself is a sign of development. In the digital age, information and communication technology is benefiting billions of people across the world by bridging gaps and multiplying human potential in every walks of life. Cybercrimes against women is on an alarming stage, and it may pose a major threat to security of a person and the society as a whole. In India, cybercrimes against women include sexual crimes and sexual abuse on the internet. Internet may be considered as the facilitator of crimes like cyber pornography. Access to information is an important right of child and has a significant role in transmitting new knowledge and facilitating the adoption of life-enhancing pro-social behaviors and values. However, where children's access to media and printed image is not appropriately supervised by parents or other caregivers, it also allows exposure, violence, abusive and pornographic materials. It is found that most of the crimes are connected with sophisticated information technology in one way or other. Such technology can break the barrier of privacy of women and can also enter and open one's private life easily. Information technology becomes one of the most evil facilitator of atrocities against women and children in the northeastern region in the recent past. Apart from criminal laws like Indian Penal Code and CRPC, the Government of India enacted Information Technology Act 2000 to prevent cybercrimes and to prosecute offenders. Education is a human right and an essential tool for achieving the goal of equality, development, and peace. Literacy of women is an important key to improving health and nutrition. As per the population census of India 2011, the literacy rate of India has shown an improvement of 9% in comparison with previous report. Kerala is on the top, having 93.9% literacy rate, followed by Lakshadweep and Mizoram with 92.3% and 91.06% respectively. Even though the Government of India has taken up various steps for universalization of education, particularly primary education, the population census of India indicated that Arunachal Pradesh emerges as the most backward state in the entire northeastern region, registering lowest literacy rate of 67%. The report shows that more than 30% of the women population of the state is illiterate. Assam happens to be the second most backward among the northeastern states in India in terms of literacy rate, having 73.2%. The female literacy rate of the state is 67.3%, which indicates that more than 30% female population of the state is illiterate. Other states of the region like Manipur, Meghalaya, and Nagaland have also registered female low literacy rate, showing that more than 25% of female population of the regions are illiterate. The data itself reveals the relative impact on such issues, as atrocities against women and children is closely connected with illiteracy and ignorance. Armed and the other type of conflicts and terrorism and hostage taking still persist in many parts of the world. Foreign occupations, ethnic and other types of conflicts are an ongoing reality affecting men, women, and children in nearly every region. Gross and systematic violation constitute serious obstacles to the full enjoyment of human rights. Such violations and obstacles include torture, cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment or punishment, summary and arbitrary execution, disappearance, arbitrary arrest and detention, discrimination against women, and lack of rule of law. Internal armed conflict emerges as a new form of conflict across the world, causing more casualty to innocent people. The northeastern states of India have witnessed a low-intensity conflict for almost 5 decades. The government of India has also engaged dialogue with some outfits like Alpha and NACN-IM to end violence and restore peace and normalcy in the entire region. Remaining underground groups have still been found engaged in conflict, which have virtually affected women and children. The incident of rape, torture, and killing of Ms. Thangsam Monorama by the security forces in Manipur in the year 2004 revealed the story of how conflict has affected the life of women in the state. It is reported that the 32-year-old lady was arrested from her residence by the security forces in the night after issuing an arrest memo on July 11, 2004. On the next day, her bullet-ridden corpse was found by the villagers from a small hill located a few kilometers from her residence. A report from Central Forensic Science Laboratory found semen stains on the traditional sarong of the victim, suggesting that she might have been raped before death. Even though the incident rocked the state, the perpetrators of the crime were not given commensurate punishment as per law of the land till that. Conclusion. Atrocities against women and children are not only the problems of a country or a region, but also a global phenomenon. The difference is only the degree of violence. The international community has been endeavoring to eradicate such violence, as it not only violates basic human rights but also hamper in the development, peace and the tranquility of human society. Apart from adopting various protective conventions for women and children, the United Nations has also appointed special rapporteur on violence against women, its causes and consequences in 1994. And at the same time, special rapporteur on child prostitution and child pornography in 1990 to investigate into violence against women and children and to make suitable recommendations for their protection. The government of India has also taken up multi-pronged approaches for eradication of violence against women and children by enacting special laws and by adopting various policies. However, atrocities against women and children have still been remained as a major concern of both international community and nation as well. Since the causes of atrocities against women and children are varied and multifarious, family, community, and institutions have to act together so as to effectively protect women and children from atrocities.